Let's see if this makes a difference. Start video. And, okay, there's one person waiting. Hello, Angelica. Okay. Let's see if we've got some more coming. All right, back on Zoom. So I have a Gemini moon and Mars, which is another mutable sign that allows me the ability to multitask. I can do Facebook Live and Zoom at the same time. And let's see, there's some more people coming in. Thank you for your patience. Okay. As I was saying, Virgo is health oriented. It's your diet, it's your daily routine. It's how you live your life on the day-to-day. It's the mundane aspects. It's not the esoteric or spiritual. It's the mundane. And let's see. And now something is feeding me back a recording. I don't know what that's about. I'm just gonna carry on. Oops. All right, Facebook Live. I'm just having all kinds of technical difficulties here. Hang on, please. Go live. There we go. All right, we're back. Here we go. Back to our Venus new moon. We're not even in Mercury retrograde yet, y'all. So this is kind of crazy. That's coming up in October. So find where you have Virgo in your chart. For those of you that have your chart, mine is in the 4th house. So that's home, family, personal life, but it's also, because it's on an angle, it's one of the cardinal points, then it applies to starting new things, right? So I'm currently looking for a job. I had an interview today. I've got a follow-up interview on Monday. So when I'm setting my intentions for this Virgo new moon, I'm setting it for long-term future goals and aspirations, like financial stability, which is a 4th house term of having security long-term. There we go. And thank you, Linda, for letting me know that something was up with the Zoom. I don't know, I was sitting there by myself. There was nobody in the waiting room, so I appreciate you reaching out.
It was, Zoom has been acting up off and on all week for me.
Okay, good to know. I said it's not even Mercury retrograde, so I don't have that to blame it on.
I was supposed to be on another meeting today that got postponed because technical difficulties, and they were like, okay, Mars is messing with us now.
Yeah. Well, Mars is retrograde. Jupiter just turned direct. Saturn is retrograde. Uranus is retrograde. Pluto is retrograde. The outer planets are retrograde most of the time, so that's not unusual. What is unusual are when the personal planets retrograde, like Mars is considered a personal planet. It affects us directly. And it's squaring all the planets that are currently in Capricorn. So that's challenging. Hi, everyone. Welcome. There you are. I was wondering where you were. Like my old faithful. Where's my faithful? I guess I was in a different Zoom room or something. I don't know. But now we're here.
Oh, this is my first time here. So hello. Yeah, I was having some trouble getting in. I don't know what was happening, but I'm glad we're in here now.
It wasn't just you.
Yeah, that's what a friend texted me and said, there's a bunch of people waiting and we can't get in. And I'm like, I'm sitting here by myself. So I don't know. I'm carrying on. I'm just talking to myself. No, I was on Facebook Live too. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Start over. Let's see, here we go. Let's try this. Okay, here we go. So I showed the chart for those of you that are on Zoom. We've got the moon conjunct the sun at 25 degrees Virgo. That's what makes it a new moon. And we're going to talk about the aspects. I was talking about what Virgo rules, body parts, is the digestive system, intestines, and spleen. It's practical, grounded, analytical, discerning, critical, service-oriented. It's about health and healing of the body, mind, and spirit, and being in touch with nature because it is an earth sign. So using natural herbs, plant medicines, alternative healing modalities. Virgo tends to be shy. It prefers to be in the background rather than center stage. Like a Leo would want to be front and center. The Virgo wants to be, instead of the actor on the stage, it wants to be the person that's the set designer or the director or the producer, somebody like that. Let's talk about the aspects that are happening now. One of the biggest things and one of the most powerful things for this new moon is that it's trine Saturn. Like exactly. Saturn is at 25 degrees of Capricorn, which is cardinal Earth. Virgo, the Virgo new moon is at 25 Virgo, which is mutable Earth. So Earth and Earth, very grounded, very practical, very day-to-day. So this is a good time to set practical intentions, material based, like what do you want to see in the material world over the next 2 weeks to 6 months until we have the Pisces new moon. And this will, because it's trine to Saturn, and a trine is a harmonious aspect, it creates ease and flow. Because it's trine Saturn, things will take time, which Saturn rules, to come to fruition. So we're talking about long-term goals, not just immediate over the next 2 weeks, but like, what do you want to see happen on the material plane over the next 6 months? That's what we want to set our intentions for. It's also trine Pluto, not exact as it is to Saturn, but still it's trine Pluto. So that's a very balanced energy from which to make grounded and focused decisions with more clarity. It's good for laying the solid groundwork for future endeavors, especially pertaining to work, health, and business situations. So both of those are very positive aspects. We have a weird, what I would call a weird aspect. It's called a quincunx, also known as an inconjunct, which is a 150-degree difference to Mars. Mars is in Aries. As I mentioned, it's retrograde. So a quincunx is change and separation, and it's moving you towards a new situation, whether you're ready for it or not. So depending on where you have Virgo in your chart, like I mentioned, it's in my 4th house of home and family, personal life. Let's say you have Virgo in your 10th house. It could mean that you've got a new job or new career coming, a new way that people see you out in public, which is 10th house. So a change or separation might be occurring that's moving you towards something new. And Mars is dynamic, it's an action-oriented planet, but being retrograde, that means that action, that dynamism is turned inward, right? So it's time to do like internal cleaning, whether it's a physical cleanse, whether it's going through your mental beliefs and especially limiting beliefs, things that hold you back, because Mars wants to move forward. So it's like taking a look at where you need to change things, and especially because Virgo rules our habits and our daily routine. It's like, look at your habits, right? Whatever you do on a regular basis becomes who you are. So if you have a habit of spending hours a day on Facebook and not doing whatever your work is, or doing your exercise routine, or, you know, something that's going to be more positive, you know, take a look at that. Like, how can you change your habits, even if it's just 1 or 2 things that are going to support your long-term goals? And maybe your business is on Facebook and you get income from that, or you get something beneficial other than just wasting time. You know, I am guilty of spending a lot of time on Facebook just surfing, just mindlessly surfing, and it doesn't really serve me, especially with our given political climate. Like, I don't want, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I'm ready for this to be over with. And it's only going to get worse because Mars is retrograde and it's squaring all those Capricorn planets. So I'm trying to limit my time on Facebook and do things that are more positive than spending time on that. Another challenging aspect that's happening to our new moon in Virgo is the opposition to Neptune. Neptune is our illusion, delusion, it's fogginess, it's mystical, it's spiritual, it rules addictions and escapism. So with the sun and the moon in opposition to Neptune, it's time for refocusing and redesigning your dreams. Like for those of you that have time on your hand, you know, you might journal, you might write out, this is what I want to see happen. I want to spend more time with my grandkids, or I want to learn new skills so that I can get a new career, or I want to be able to buy my own house within the next 2 years while interest rates are low. You know, take time to focus. So Virgo is very focused, it's very detail oriented. Neptune is very nebulous. So this opposition, which is a 180-degree angle, is challenging, right? It's about, you know, taking the ethereal and put it into grounded, practical terms. You know, how can I take my dreams, which are, you know, a lot of times pie in the sky and illusion, delusion, and bring them into real life? You know, and that might be, what skills do I need to learn? Maybe I need to start saving money so that I can buy that new house, or refinance my house so that I can free up some of my income. So taking time in this new moon to set your intentions for what it is you want to create on the material level. And then finally, the aspect of what's called a mutable grand cross. So that means that there's planets on all 4 points, and the grand cross is with the nodes. So right now the north node is in Gemini and the south node is in Sagittarius. So this would mean very strange and synchronistic yet challenging new beginnings. So think in terms of what areas the Gemini and Sagittarius fall in, and then where Neptune and the sun and moon are in Virgo and Pisces. That's the area where this grand cross is happening. And that's where these strange and synchronistic events might occur that would bring something new to your life. Okay. And if you have any questions or comments, just raise your hand or unmute yourself. I'll pause for a minute and check in. How we doing? Everybody's good? Yeah, thumbs up, cool. All right, next. Okay, so the new moon happens tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. Tucson time, as I mentioned, same as Pacific time. What are 1 or 2 key things in your life that you need to change, adjust, improve in order to better the quality of your day-to-day experience and to nurture and move you towards making your vision, your long-term goals a reality? And then the new moon is in the decan of Taurus, which Taurus is the fertile soil, its consistency, its dedication, which is Virgo, to the structure, Saturn, that creates the perfect cosmic formula to make your long-term vision a reality. It's like, this is a very special new moon, okay? So this is an opportunity for us to create the kind of life that we want. You know, things might not be perfect right now. They might be far from it from a lot of different perspectives. But with that opposition to Neptune, this is time that we can use our imagination and our visioning ability and bring it into reality. Like, and the more you focus on what you want, the more you bring that to yourself. In yoga, we call that a drishti. Whatever you put your eyes on, your body's going to follow you. So make sure you're focusing on what you want, not what you don't want. And it's a good time to cultivate new daily habits in our life that nourish us and move us toward our long-term vision. Paige, did you have a question? You just, no? Okay. One of my habits, I've put this on Facebook before, and it's something I try to do every day, is put my bare feet on the earth. It's called grounding or earthing. I prefer grass, but dirt will do. Or I have pebbles in my driveway. I'll put my feet, just have your feet on the earth and it recalibrates our electromagnetic field. Like, we spend so much time in front of electronics and surrounded by Wi-Fi and whatnot. So if you can be in nature, or even just with your feet on the dirt or on the grass, if you can lay on the grass, even better. They say if you can do it naked, but I think that if I went to a park and laid naked in the park, I might not come home. They might haul me in somewhere. But I try to like put as much skin on the grass as I can.
You'd be one of those funny highlights on the newsreel at 10 o'clock.
Yes, I would. Crazy astro yoga woman naked in the park, reconnecting.
You might get more yoga students that way.
Yeah, right, for sure. A little shavasana on the earth. But that's a habit that I've been cultivating. I would get mad numbers for sure, right, Ezreal? I've cultivated that habit for months now, and I find it very beneficial. And if for whatever reason I miss a day, like, I can feel it. I notice, right? So just even like 10, 15 minutes of bare feet on the earth, which is a very Virgo thing, right? And maybe that's your meditation, or I do my journaling then. And that's my routine, right? Virgo rules routine. Let's see. So we just came out of a Jupiter retrograde. It went retrograde, stationed retrograde on May 14th. It just turned direct on the 12th, so 4 days ago. So it's still slow. It's not all the way up to speed. So it went retrograde at 27 degrees Capricorn. It's stationed direct at 17 degrees Capricorn. So it's not necessarily trine this new moon. It's a little too far out, but it's moving in that direction. Yeah, I know, thank God. Jupiter is known as the planet of expansion. During its retrograde, it invited us to reflect on religion, belief systems, life philosophy, the individual vision, our ideals, and our growth potential. So that, like I mentioned earlier, anytime a planet is retrograde, that energy is turned inward. And then once it moves direct, it's like things start to move forward. So I think we'll start to see things happening for the positive regarding the virus. That's my hope anyway. Like, maybe they'll start to get a grip on it. They're saying that they're trying to get a vaccine out sooner rather than later, which, just a piece of advice, not that anybody asked, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Don't take the first round or two of the vaccine. Let somebody else be the guinea pig, not you, right? Because they're rushing this thing, and it's like usually these things take years to come up with the vaccine. But, with Jupiter turning direct, I feel like things are going to start to move forward. Jupiter is one of the societal planets along with Saturn. So you'll start to see, and then Saturn turns direct at the end of the month on the 29th. And after that, we'll start to see things progress and start to move forward instead of being sort of at a standstill. Mars is going to be retrograde until November 13th. So we've still got some time to turn our drive and our desires inward instead of outward. Okay. Saturn retrograde until the 28th. So it started its retrograde in Aquarius at almost 2 degrees Aquarius, and it'll station direct at 25 degrees of Capricorn, which would be trine the current sun, moon, new moon. So when it stations direct on the 28th, it's bringing back this flavor of the new moon. So whatever intentions you set now, when it stations direct on that degree, it makes it sort of a trigger point or a sensitive point. So notice what happens on the 28th in regards to whatever intentions that you set today or tomorrow, right? You might see like one of those spontaneous, out of left field, cardinal cross on the nodes events happen for you. Retrograde Saturn in Aquarius refers to reviewing the responsibilities inherent in friendship, relationships, or interactions with groups. It's the fear of social exclusion. And you can ask yourself whether the desire for independence hinders the formulation of sincere and lasting bonds. So it's kind of a push-pull of being independent or having lasting bonds. And then Saturn retrograde in Capricorn imposes considerations on the restriction of the soul's desires, the privileging the material, it's lack of discipline or confidence in yourself, and conflicting relationships with authority figures or family patriarchs. We've seen a lot of conflicting relationships with authority figures over the last couple months, like a lot. All of this police stuff and the protesters and, you know, using force against peaceful protesters and all this energy. And cardinal signs are starters, they're initiators. So it's like we're going to have planets in Capricorn for quite a while. You know, Saturn and Jupiter will meet up on December 21st, which is the Capricorn ingress. What is that called? Not the equinox, the solstice, winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. And they're going to meet at 0 degrees or 1 degree of Aquarius. So they will finally move out of Capricorn, but Pluto is going to be there for a couple more years. So we're still going to have this authoritarian, you know, Pluto transforms whatever it's touching. So in Capricorn, it's transforming our systems of government, of authority. You might see the housing market change again, the mortgage market, financial systems are all up for transformation. And Pluto gives 0 Fs. You know what I mean? It's not a personal planet because it's the outermost planet in our solar system. It's about change for change's sake. And it doesn't care who it affects or what caught, like the fires happening in the West Coast right now. That's Pluto, it's transformation, right? It doesn't care what properties it takes or what people it takes, what animals it takes, what systems are overcome. It's transforming the whole landscape. So we'll be happy when planets are moving out of Capricorn. Mars retrograde through November 13th. It invites you to question what motivates you to action, what's causing repressed anger, and the difficulty to stop reliving the past instead of focusing on the present. It's a good time to complete incomplete tasks. Like I started writing a book, my second book, in 2012, and there it sits. This would be a good time, especially since I have time on my hand. Instead of surfing Facebook, I should be working on my book. It's a time to review strategies, develop patience, attend to your intuition, and act subtly. Avoid exaggerated demands and do not accept challenges out of pride, which keep you from the right path. Mars in Aries retrograde points to difficulties in executing immediate actions. It's little spontaneity, it's resistance to making necessary decisions, and it's a high sensitivity to criticism. And I see that a lot on Facebook. From the evolutionary point of view, the apparent retreat of the warrior planet in the sign of Aries implies self-assertion, perseverance in the face of obstacles, calculated actions, and understanding of the adverse positions of third parties. You know, wouldn't that be nice if everyone stopped to consider how other people feel during this time instead of being about me, 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 me. This is my opinion and this is what I feel and this is how it is. And, you know, like take into consideration other people might feel differently and maybe they have a reason for feeling that way. We're currently in and moving toward an exact square again of Mars and Aries to Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn. And this is a total reset for the second half of 2020. It's not about immediate gratification, but patience for long-term goals. The new foundation of a new reality will be built upon the ashes of the old, and learning from the past is essential for creating the new. It's just like with the fires, you know, it creates new growth. It clears out the old dead so that new growth can happen. But coming this next month in October, when these squares are exact, we're going to see, I think we're going to see a lot more skirmishes and fighting and clashes and us against them and the government against the people and a lot more strife. So do whatever you can do to stay grounded. This is why this Virgo new moon about creating routines that have practical significance in your daily life makes a huge difference. And then finally, this new moon, before we have our next meeting, before our next new moon, we've got a Mercury retrograde coming. Yay! Just to add to the fun. And Mercury is the ruler of Virgo, so this will be significant for this lunation cycle. It goes retrograde or stations retrograde on the 13th through November 3rd, which, as we know, is election day in the United States. Don't expect to know who the winner of the election is on November 3rd. It might be quite some time before we know, so just be prepared. And even if they come out and say, this person's the winner, they might come back and go, no, this person is the winner. No, this person is the winner. So try to avoid celebrating or being despondent anytime over until it leaves its shadow phase, which will be probably 2 more weeks, probably once Mars goes direct, November 13th. I figure by then we should know who the winner is. So it stations retrograde in Scorpio at 11 degrees, and then it stations direct in Libra at 25 degrees. So if you have planets or points around those degrees, they will be impacted by the upcoming Mercury retrograde. Retrograde Mercury in Scorpio aims to face the deep traumas and fears which tend to remain hidden or ignored. It's a good time to receive psychological assistance. It's okay to ask for help, y'all. You know, we're not here alone. We're not islands. We are tribal people. We're pack animals. We want to have our tribe. And with this pandemic and the lockdown, a lot of us are very isolated. It's okay to reach out and ask for help. And in the same way that Mercury retrograde in Libra urges recapitulation, amend errors or situations in which you have acted unfairly, analyze how you participate in the dynamics of relationships, and renegotiate agreements with your partner, and practice forgiveness. Always good advice. Okay, so there's my information if you want to reach out to me about a reading. I mentioned earlier, I don't know if all y'all, that's my text is coming out, all y'all were on there. I'm offering a special right now where it's $1 per minute with a 15-minute minimum. I prefer a 20-minute minimum, but if you just want to do 15, that's fine. I give you sort of a brief overview of your chart. Or if you want an in-depth reading where I go into transits and progress charts, maybe even your solar return, that's $108 for an hour reading. Okay, I'm going to see if I can stop sharing here, go back to my Zoom. I'll open it up for questions, comments. Anybody has anything they want to share or add? Feel free to unmute yourself. Write it in. Here's something in the chat. Okay. What did you learn today? What stood out for you? Not all at once, please.
Lots of planning that needs to be done.
Planning, yeah, that's Virgo.
Yeah.
Good time for that.
I definitely need some new habits.
Okay.
I'm gonna be starting a new job on Monday, a new assignment with my agency, and I definitely need some new habits. I need to find, like, I need to start taking my lunch to work, which I never do.
Yeah.
You know, and then I need some kind of a exercise regime. I really, you know, I'm not ready to go back to the gym, even though it's open. So I need to find something to do.
So new habits, taking your lunch to work, exercise routine. I have a recommendation for that. I've been doing a woman on YouTube. Her name is Chloe Ting, T-I-N-G.
Oh, yes.
You know, anybody know her? She's fun. She's
Yes.
Australian, and she's got like 10 to maybe 20-minute videos for like butt and thighs or abs or all over workout. And, you know, I can do 10 minutes. You know, that's not going to kill me. I try to do it sooner in the day rather than later in the day, but I haven't gone to a gym in forever. I don't even like gyms, but I'll try to ride my bike every day or take a walk every day and do a little bit of Chloe Ting, do some yoga. And I'm starting to lose weight instead of gain weight. For a while there, I was expanding, and now I'm like coming back down.
That's exactly where I'm at. I'm feeling what Ian Page had said. I need to start exercising. Last year was like, for me, the wrath of Pluto. There's so many things that happened for me last year, and one of them was my mom passing away, and following that, I filed for divorce. So there's like boom, 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 all this death, boom, 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 yeah. And it was like my entire life collapsed, and I gained all this weight in the middle of it because I was starting to stress eat.
Sure.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, I've gained like all my weight. And in 2016, I had lost a massive amount of weight. And then now I put on the majority of it back on. So I was like, I have to do something.
Right.
I have to get something going. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, because I have to take advantage of this and use that.
This is a good time. You know, it's a new moon, so a good time for setting an intention. And with Virgo being daily routines, our habits, our wellness, health, diet, you know, this is perfect. So good.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else want to share? Planning as a needed reminder. Yes. Azriel, I will text you my rates. Thank you for passing it on. Grounding. Try to do grounding. 10 minutes with your feet on the earth. Huge difference, because we spend so much time up here. You know, and even though Virgo is Earth, it's ruled by Mercury, which is a mental planet. So we can spend too much time planning and not enough time being. So just a few minutes of feet on the earth. Great.
I've been wanting to spend a lot of time with my feet in water.
Water, good.
You know, just put some water in the bathtub and stick my feet in it, or actually just take a whole, you know, bath. It's just this. I think since January, I've taken more baths than I've taken in my whole life.
Right. Immerse yourself. Well, water is healing. You know?
But it's been very soothing through the whole quarantine and everything.
Right.
To just have that time and, you know, that self-care aspect. But it just seems so odd and out of my normal craving.
To put your feet in water or put yourself
in.
When I was looking for a place to live, I've been here almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years next month. One of my requirements was a bathtub. For one place I was at for 7 years, didn't have a tub. Another place I was at for a year, didn't have a tub. I'm like, I need a bathtub. I want to take an Epsom salt bath.
Yeah.
So another good routine, another good habit to get into. Okay. Anybody else want to share? Jeff, do you want to share what you got out of today? Anyone on Facebook? I can see. No? All right. So we'll go ahead and sign off. I thank you all for your patience and me getting on. Like, I was on Zoom going, where is everybody? I know Paige is going to be here. Where's Paige?
I just got back from vacation yesterday, so
okay, good.
Not here. And then I was late because I was out to dinner, so.
So thank you for letting me know that whatever wasn't working. I'm sitting there by myself going, there's nobody waiting. She said, all these people are waiting. I'm like, I don't know where they are. So let me.
Well, that happened in my class this morning when I was going to teach my yoga. I'm sitting there and it's like 9:35 and it's like, where is everybody?
Right.
And I was about to text one of my students and she came in and she says, yeah, I logged in 3 times and it kept getting stuck. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, maybe it's something with Zoom. Maybe they're overwhelmed with everybody Zooming these days.
Something.
So every 3rd Wednesday, we have this group. And I hope that you can put that on your calendar. I try to send a reminder on Facebook for those that are interested. I've started a new group, by the way. It's about human design. I just see one of my friends from Human Design joined us on Facebook, and that's I believe it's the 4th Tuesday. It's a meetup group called Human Design System Science of Differentiation. And
Can you explain that?
Pardon me?
Can you explain more about what human design is?
Human design is a synthesis of astrology, chakras, Kabbalah, I Ching, and quantum physics. and it uses your birth date, time, and place, just like astrology. It does have planets involved, but it's not that much focus on planets. The main focus is really the I Ching. They call it the 64 gates, which correspond with 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. So depending on where the planets are, they fall in these different gates. And when I do readings, I usually like to add a little bit of human design just to introduce people to it, for one thing. But also it's a decision making. Like astrology, it's a little bit more challenging to figure out how to make decisions. You know, you can look at transits and progressions, but with human design, it's your body's way of guiding your life. Like they say that your body is the vehicle, the soul is the passenger, and you're just supposed to be kicked back in the back seat of the convertible, letting the car drive itself instead of being the mind trying to take control. So human design teaches you by what's called strategy and authority, how to just sit back, relax, and let the body lead the life. Like it says, there's no decisions to make, there's nothing to do except let the body lead. So learning how to do that takes time, right? It's a 7-year deconditioning practice of letting our cells regenerate so that the body, like our schools, our society, our families, it's all about conditioning. But because human design is known as the science of differentiation, it's like how you're unique. It's like we're all snowflakes. We all have this unique way of interacting with the world. And it teaches you how to be you in a world that isn't set up for you to be you, right? And we've got a big mutation coming in 7 years. In 2027, there's going to be a big shift. The quantum physics part of it is that it works through neutrinos, which are these energy information packets that are emitted from the sun. The guy that discovered this, he channeled it in 1987. His name is Ra Uru Hu. He was talking about neutrinos before scientists were talking about neutrinos. And now it's like, I was like, neutrinos, like, yeah, we've been talking about that for 30 years. You know, get on the program. So this mutation is coming, and in the next 7 years, it would be really, really beneficial for you to know how you're supposed to deal with being on this planet. Because everything that we know it, life as we know it, is going to totally change. So the more tuned in with your vehicle and allowing it to traverse the landscape, the better. Right? Instead of trying to figure out, oh, should I go this way or should I go that way? It's like, there's no decision to make. It's like, let the body guide the life. Let the vehicle be in charge. So that's the Human Design Meetup group. It's the 4th Tuesday at 6 p.m. Tucson time, which currently is the same as Pacific time. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me, astroyogawoman@gmail.com. I love talking about human design. I'm a projector, for those of you that know anything about that. It's 20% of the population, and projectors are here to guide others. We're not here to be the builders or the doers or the initiators. We're here to be like the coaches and the cheerleaders for other people of how to manage their energy effectively. That's what I'm here for. And I have Venus and Virgo, so I love to be of service. Like Venus is love, Virgo is of service. So I show my love by being of service, and I do that through guiding other people. So, all right. Well, thanks, y'all. I appreciate your time and attention and showing up every month. And if you're new, welcome. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Hope to see you at our next meeting or at my Human Design Meetup next Tuesday. All right. Have a good new moon. Go put your feet on the earth.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you guys. Oh, we have a projector. Hi, Mike Hess, an emo projector. I am also emotionally defined. I'm a 3-5 PRR. Oh, so you're quad right. Love you, Sherry. Thanks. Good to see you. Mike, I'm sure you're probably aware there's a quad right